because you get kind of used to it. But I would have to say the 2K is definitely one of those tanks that if you love top tier and you love playing a fast mobile tank with a good round, definitely 2K all the way.
Okay, good.
You've missed out so much on it. It's a brilliant tank.
Alright, and preview. What about you? What's your favourite tank?
Not just the top tier, not just the best tank of the week, but of the month. Maybe
That's a big
a
shout.
Russian vehicle, obviously. The BVM. Now, top tier vehicle, obviously, but that's not the point. The armor on it, superb. The reverse speed, superb. Obviously, it struggles with depression as every other Russian tank, but that's not the issue of Russian engineering.
You know, every time you said beautiful in my Minecraft world, 2 lightning strikes just happened out of nowhere. Every time you said beautiful, so that's cool.
Russian bias.
But yeah, to be fair, boys, I gotta say, because I'm still low tier, I'm not caught up with you guys, obviously. I've got to go with the Archer. It's that. Shut up. Anyway. The Archer, it's shit with armor, the driving is terrible, but the cannon, it's never failed to be a one-shot kill to me, so it's just, there's nothing wrong with it apart from the driving and that. Like, obviously it's got its faults, but it's too powerful and it's good for distance, so.
I mean, with my decision, I'm not gonna lie, the decision was very hard on me because recently getting Type 10, that has actually found a place in my heart as well. Unfortunately for me though, I don't really have the good in the Type 10 with its stupidly...
Just like every woman in Scott's life, finds a place in his heart and leaves with a playlist.
Happening. Yeah.
But yeah, anyway,
talk about that.
Speaking about like War Thunder, like what's coming to the War Thunder? What is there to talk about the economy?
Yeah, it was 67, yeah.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because like that, it doesn't really sound like much of a change.
If you play, you know, at higher BRs, you'd see a much bigger difference than lower. I'm not saying low BR is bad or anything. I'm just saying that at higher BRs, it's much more clear that that small percentage difference actually does affect the games. Because I've noticed recently that even with premium, even if you have a semi-good game, you will still potentially lose SL, which is really bad at high BR.
Apart from Sweden.
For people that don't understand like what you said, that Dom, like what do you mean one lifing? Alright, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, well, backups are hard to get with people who are low on money. Guys? Well, already starting off with technical difficulties. That is great. Gentlemen. We had some connection difficulties apparently. No, it's still running. It's called editing. I can solve that shit.
Right.
Anyway, as you were saying, Dom.
Come. As you were saying.
Yeah. We covered that. It's just like you did say this, and I caught that. It's just the fact. I heard to the point where you said that people getting backups is quite hard for people who are skint. Yeah.
To build on that point, right? To build on that point, usually people complain about quote unquote Russian bias, and I'm not going to get into that right now. But the main point is, ever since this new update, Russian vehicles' repair price have been greatly modified, to say the least. You see it in top tier. Yeah. To see before.
What I find funny about the Ryan's voice, not Ryan's fucking preview's voice, is that it sounds like he's ready for the fucking radio. Yeah.
Oh, suck it. Let me just finish because I'm a wolf. I'm a main. I need to get my point across. Right. Let me just go. Right. Before you would see Russian tanks top tier at repair costs at $2,000, even less. But now they've been greatly increased to match all other top tier, such as 6K and over, in terms of repair costs. Yep. So whether or not that's a good thing, I mean obviously it's a good thing, but Russian players will not be used to that cheap repair cost anymore. So however, if you think about the Squadron MP, that vehicle can compete at 11.0 even with its low battle rating, and that vehicle's repair cost has not been changed. It's still at 2,000, yet it can take out 11.0 vehicles with ease.
Oh, yeah, well, That sounds like actually a good conversation. Yeah, I just gotta sit here and sponge on the life and us carry you, or?
Very good thing to see this economy change, especially with the sort of winning and losing thing.
Sorry, Scott, we lost
No,
you
I'm
there for a
sorry.
minute. Would you like to just repeat that?
Saying this whole thing with the economy is actually, in my opinion, a good thing. I think if you're playing a good game and your team let you down, I think a lot of people would have felt really undervalued essentially in that game. Playing an amazing game but losing, it really does take a lot of wind out of you. Because when you won, when you were winning and you were feeling good and dominant, it was a good thing. But when you lost a game but you had a good performance, you were getting kills, you were getting the assists, you were getting the caps, and you were really carrying the team. I think
Yeah,
the
but also
problem,
in War Thunder is that if you have a good game, it's all good. But if you have a bad game, it's really bad. Like, I've experienced that myself, and it's quite rageful, if anything.
oh yeah, and with the new economy change, I do believe a lot of players that feel that they should have got something out of the game they didn't win is a lot better. Yeah, some people will complain, some people will be like, it's not for me, it's not a good choice from Gaijin's part, but same with all the tanks being a similar repair cost as well. No tank is really that overpowered essentially now.
Yeah, I suggest not. Yeah, you got a good point there. Anyway, also speaking about War Thunder is how stupid you get penned. Honestly, you could have probably a 1 BR and still probably get a penned if you're on a 3 BR.
I'm gonna save the extra one for later.
Unless it's an XM1.
We'll save that for another section.
Yep. Oh yeah, surely not. Like that happens with a lot of game companies. So done it. They make a new update. They say it's all going to be good, but then they've got these issues.
I mean,
like,
for me,
sorry, we're suffering technical difficulties with Scott. Oh no, it's me again. I blame that on you there, Scott. It was me. Again, some fucking reason it's been a bit dodgy,
oh,
but...
did you just crash again?
Yeah.
This podcast is going.
Was that me, boys? Did I crash? Again? Oh, fuck's sake. Please, God, no. This is actually shocking. Boys, there we are. Luckily there's a thing called fucking editing. I'll get that sorted. I don't know what happened there. Because even my Wi-Fi says it's fine, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. But anyway, moving on. We have a... Fuck's sake. I fucking hate this. Is it Dom or is it me? Ah, fuck's sake. There we are. Fuck's sake. Sorry, boys. Can you hear me? Good, good. Yeah, fuck's sake. This is a pain in the ass. Moving on. Dom. Boys. Man. For fuck's sake. It seems like every time I go on Minecraft now, it just fucking rips it. Anyway, moving on. Dom. Where's Dom? Alright. Dom, what's pissed you off? Besides my Wi-Fi. Fucking hell. There we are. Could you get Discord and PlayStation? It's just my computer can't handle this. Speak for yourself. Well, in my point of view, I'm in a relationship and I find it stupid. And I only see the excuses to just spend money and shag the brains off each other. That is actually the most accurate thing I've ever heard.
For 5 seconds. Amazing. Don't have to do a man like that, man.
Is he wrong though?
You see you, yeah? See you, yeah? Jesus is waiting for you.
I'm going straight to hell. Brock his teeth. Oh, was Brock his teeth? Yorkshire. Oh. It was to see what pissed you off, but you didn't really have much ranting.
I mean, it's not really.
Yeah, well, the next section is what's fucked, and you know what's fucked? Ryan Jessen.
I don't believe I should have a say on any of this.
Why not? It's a podcast. This is where everyone can voice their issues and how they feel. You know, we're all friends here. You know.
Magical word.
Oh, Oh yeah, his 7-bedroom house in a council scheme. Yeah. Right. Oh
and
yeah.
But he drives his dad's
TT.
car.
People just like him. People just like him piss me off, man. Now, if someone had to tell me what's he like, he's not a bad lad. He's not going to go out his way to annoy you, or go out his way to make you feel like shite. But the bullshit he comes out with, man, it's absolutely unbelievable.
He's done some questionable things, I'd say, from what I've heard. But we won't dig deep into it. But
no. We're not got to thing with everything he's done. It's just I think the bullshit.
That's
gonna end up on Drama Alert now, boys. Well done.
Gonna end up with Police Scotland at the door. This podcast is immediately turned into a threat now. Jesus.
You see, that's just controversial. Well, I doubt we'll get that much of a reach out from him, but
Dom, you want to talk about it?
do you need to talk about anything? He didn't fight KSI. I'm sorry, but Dom, I'll have to disagree with you there. Deji actually was the only one that held out the most against Jake Paul, and actually made him bleed.
It wasn't fixed.
I don't know, he's looking quite good at the moment. It's quite a big talk from Dominic.
And I can already tell we're getting the police involved today.
I doubt we'll get much praise from this, but surely one day, hopefully, we'll get there. Anyway, moving on to section 3, preview.
Hello there. Oddly related, not Russian, War Thunder. That one vehicle that's part of the premium tree in America, ground forces obviously, and it goes by the name of XM1. Some of you may or may not know this, but you know, it's a prototype Abrams, so you can't really expect much out of it. Not in my case. Well, in my case, to be fair. The XM1 is it's a joke. It's like the simplest. For 50 quid, or like less or more or less, you get that plane, right? Not plane, tank. Right, you get that tank, and you would expect it to be good as, right, it's the prototype Abrams. It should have some features of the Abrams, but nah, you get nothing of the sort. To begin with, the only good thing that I've figured out is speed. It's a fast vehicle. It's lightweight, so it's fast. Fair use. It can get around the map. Everything else after that is absolutely atrocious. To begin with, the ammunition. There's a new vehicle called the AGS. Many people should know this, as it was it had gained quite a lot of attention. It has an alright shell. It's classified as a light tank, so it gets the ability to scout, which means its round is expected to be not good. But then when you go to the XM1, it gets not only a worse shell than the AGS because it cannot pen angles to save its life, but it's also classified as an MBT. This means you can't scout, and this means your brain doesn't register that it's a light tank, because it's quite literally a light tank with an MBT name. So you can't kill anything that's a light tank because you will bounce. You will bounce. For example, this one story where the side of a Leopard 2 or Leopard 1, it has no armor whatsoever. Anything can go through it, but XM1 bounces every single time without fail. And if that's not worse enough, the armor on that thing is non-existent. It's paper, it's just condensed air. You will be shot through anywhere and you will die. If you bounce, the Gaijin has blessed you. But in the end, my point is, the XM1 is an atrocious vehicle for 50 quid.
I do still think the prices for the tanks, I've had a look and I've seen a lot more expensive things just on phone games, like when I played this space game where it was just like you just battling other ships and that, and there was like this ship going for like over £100, and I was like, fucking hell, just for a ship? Like, and it doesn't do one.
A phone game, mate.
It's a phone game, like, you're just gonna get...
The worst part is with this XM1, I bought it in order to grind the entirety of the American tech tree. Every vehicle in the ground tech tree, I was planning on grinding it using this one vehicle. And now I'm stuck in this situation where I have to use the vehicle because it's the only thing that gets efficient grind, or efficient RP. But when I can't kill anything from the front... okay. The worst two culprits is the terms, but that's somewhat acceptable as it has decent armor, to say the least. But then, yeah. But the worst culprit is the bloody the TAM 2 IP. I swear to God, that vehicle will be the end of my days. That vehicle is a light tank in the German tree, and yet it seems to bounce anything I fucking throw at it. Like, seriously, it has paper mache for armor, it's fast, right, all that, but you shoot at it with an XM1 and 9 times out of 10 you will bounce. You will not penetrate that thing from the front. You shoot the turret, it will bounce anyway. It's atrocious. It just makes you want to cry. It just makes you want to wonder why you bought this tank. Like, why is it like... Oh god. Oh god. That's all I have to say about that.
Scott, as a basically admitted German main and how Germany suffers, what's your opinion on that?
Well, I do not own the TAM 2 IP. I have played games with the TAM 2 IP on my team. First impression from it when I first met the TAM 2 IP and when it was basically, you know, tickling my pickle. There was a moment in time I was thinking about actually getting it, just through the sheer ability of bouncing everything that comes its way. I've never seen something bounce. Like, I honestly do think if you had to take the TAM 2 IP into a top tier game, it probably would bounce. It would bounce a lot of things at top tier as well, just because of its angles. It's just bullshit. I mean, we can talk about the 2 IP being cancerous, but I think the most cancerous thing in Germany at 87 would be the G91. Now, I'm not gonna lie, yes, I do own one now. I seen the light and thought, that's going in my lineup. Premium playing, well worth the golden eagles you spend on it, well worth the money you spend on it, because you will get a lot of fan mail from playing this plane. It's beautiful in the air, can take it into top tier, and it doesn't really, I don't think it struggles at top tier at all. And Dom will vouch for me on that one because he also has the G91. It's a very toxic plane.
Is that a premium plane?
Yeah.
And how much would that cost? Alright. Certainly that fucking Mine is certainly the
Actually,
Spitfire.
although it was a waste, it has grinded. The XM1 has grinded quite a lot of the tech tree in America. I'm currently researching a top tier vehicle. Well, close to top tier, the HSTVL, by using the XM. So you know, it has its ups and downs.
There's a few. I think one of the biggest wastes, it's not because it's a bad vehicle or because of any other reason, it's just something I've never really used. I would have to say the biggest waste of money I've actually done would be, for me it's between the Cromwell and my Chinese HE123. Now, not a lot of money wasted, but just for the fact I've not been able to play them does come under the fall of a bit of waste of money. And I mean, it could fix itself where I do eventually get out to play it and I could start doing games now. To be fair, there's not really much I've wasted money on. I've fallen in love with a lot of things I have actually bought. I mean, I bought the SU100Y and that thing is an absolute monster at 4.7. Really long reload, but at the same time worth it. Plane wise, the Sabre, the G91, the Meteor, all good planes, and they really do hold their own. I mean, the biggest waste of money for me, I've had to actually narrow it down. I would probably go with the 3.3 Cromwell.
Why?
Ooh. Yeah, when I played with the Cromwell, I didn't really enjoy it much. I bought the premium edition.
Don't get me wrong, nowadays it is a good tank, but when I first got it, wasn't really that good. Was not what it lived up to be. The rockets on the side were very inaccurate. The tank itself just didn't feel like it could compete, even though the Tech Tree version competes just as well. Nowadays though, would I recommend it to new beginners? Probably would. Just make sure that you know what you're getting into. Don't do what the Americans do and buy the Calliope. Because that thing is a waste of money.
What would that be?
So how would it be a waste because you got it free? Like, so it was basically a disappointment of hard work. Yeah. Okay.
The PT.
So say if you've played with, so say if you like mained America, then it'd actually be a good use, or Yeah.
Use.
Yeah.
Mm.
I think Gaijin make a lot of unnecessary money with the tanks, especially at the prices they're going for as well, when they don't really have a certain use. Like, it's just ridiculous. Just for a tank, how much you pay money for is, I wouldn't say is an agreeable option. Yeah, like these days, because even just Call of Duty's like 70 quid, and it's just the same thing, just different like
Graphics.
styles.
Yeah. I mean, well, to think if you think about it, the only reason it's like in terms of games and the prices going up, I think one of the main reasons why it's going up is because people are still buying it. Even though the price is going up, people still buy it. They still get the same product over and over again. So those companies think that, you know, they buy it, we might as well keep doing it until they stop.
Yeah, money grabbing.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah. Unless it's like really discounted. Oh, okay. Yeah. So you took quite the change.
I feel like there's a point ending.
Yeah.
I feel like to defend War Thunder kind of like it's a free to play game as you mentioned, so obviously you can just get the game and start playing straight away. But to defend it, it's like as a free to play game, it needs some way to keep itself running. You know what I mean? They have servers that they need to keep up. They need to make sure the game doesn't, make game breaking bugs.
If you have a certain amount of people on a free to play game, the company that broadcasts the game, because it gets more players on and all that, like let's say for PC, Steam, and PlayStation, and like Xbox and that, they all would start paying the company anyway. So
yeah, but like after that, though. There's no way to keep the game running unless they somehow add in-game items or related things, because right, true. However,
Oh yeah.
well, that's more of a mechanic than a buff. Yep, I saw that.
Yeah, well, I suppose it's just like a favoritism sort of level, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like Russian bias does exist. There's a lot of things.
As a Russian main, I can expand on this, good and bad, if you wish. Alright, to begin with, Russian bias somewhat is a thing. If you look at different videos and evidence, you can see that Russian bias does somewhat exist, but let me explain. To begin with, some YouTubers, I'm not going to name, but you can find it yourself, they found evidence and proof and showed it that some Russian vehicles, when they get hit by sabot rounds at top tier, it doesn't spall. Spalling means when fragments go everywhere and actually cause damage to the internals of a vehicle. But that doesn't happen. Yes, and when they compared it to other top tier tanks such as an Abrams, it clearly was there. But obviously that's proof against it. But I also feel like Russian bias exists because of quote unquote Germany suffers. Let me explain again. Russian tanks, in my opinion, are they're more on the weaker side of MBTs compared to every nation, simply because they have overall all Russian tanks worse reverse speed. Shell isn't 600 odd millimeters of penetration. Their armor is good, but the weak spots are large, and then turret traverse and survivability terrible compared to other top tier tanks. However, when a German tank, which is clearly superior to a Russian tank in almost every way, when a German player dies to a Russian player, they think it's not really fair, it shouldn't really be happening. So they would say Russian bias.
No.
How so? But, like, other than that, it feels like Russians do get a buff, every nation gets a buff every now and then, a nerf and whatnot, but overall, just because Gaijin's a Russian company, it doesn't necessarily mean they would buff Russian tanks. Sure, they do, like, sometimes, as you can see in proof, but other times it feels like players just think that Russian tanks shouldn't be doing as good as they do. But that's my opinion, obviously. You may disagree. Yeah.
Did he leave?
He's joining back, I think. I don't know.
Okay. Anyway, I'm gonna move this on to Scott.
Sure.
How will you keep quoting you on this whole Germany suffers fiasco?
I mean, there is aspects where Germany does suffer at some BRs, and that's not due to the vehicles. I'd say it's more down to the users and not knowing how to use them.
How would it really be down to the users if sometimes, you have bullshit tanks like the one preview mentioned. Like,
Well, it's just any users. A lot of people say that Germany suffers just because they don't know how to. They just don't know how to play it. It's
like
could you
they're
do
unsure about it.
5-3?
It's just simple as that. It's just down to user error. I mean, for me, Germany suffers when it comes to lower tiers, because a lot of the people think, oh, Germany, they've got the most powerful tanks. Obviously, this is a time where Germany was dominating.
Yeah, Germany
No.
did have great tanks. Like, they were an evil superpower, but they doesn't mean we can fault their engineering.
If you look at, like, let's say World War II German vehicles, true in the wars and in real life, obviously, these vehicles were quite menacing, so to speak. In War Thunder, but in War Thunder's like system, it doesn't really work the same. The Tiger One, the Tiger One in World War II would fight weaker Shermans that couldn't pen the front, but due to balancing reasons, the Tiger One fights things that can go straight through the front. That's every player who normally starts playing War Thunder, they gravitate towards the Tiger One, thinking it's a great vehicle due to World War II and whatnot. But then they find out that if they don't use the vehicle correctly, such as angling, they will quickly find out that the vehicle is not as good as it seems.
Wouldn't that be
simply
the
due to
fault of
balancing.
their own expectations and their false knowledge
Yes,
of history?
But also they must understand.
No,
it's
because they're like, oh, it's the
expectations.
Tiger 2. I've seen it in movies. It's brilliant. It works well. All that, and
Right,
then
but
it's just
when they
not as
start
up to the
playing-
standards.
Right, but when they start playing, they should understand that it's a game. It's made by a company who tries to make things somewhat fun at all stages. So obviously, they
Yeah.
must understand that.
But some people don't dig into it though. They don't really like to look into the background or the
point, fair
history.
point.
So like they have their expectations. I'm gonna be like, oh, this tank's gonna literally rule everyone, and they just have
Fair
a
point,
face full of
however-
disappointment.
I feel like due to media, Russian tanks don't really get the light, so to speak. Now, it's not because I'm a Russian main. Let me actually tell you why. If you like look at statistics and other factors, generally Russian tanks were more effective during World War II. However, due to media and everyone saying that German tanks were powerful, which they were, Russian tanks were also quite powerful in their own way during World War II era. So this would include like T-34s and tanks of that time.
Let's be real. Britain was even quite powerful back then. It was they all ever will fully enjoy is the Italian and the French.
Well, the French are just, so to speak, a meme. They just need the reverse.
Cheese eating surrender monkeys, in my opinion.
I
Yeah.
mean, to be fair, we've all talked shit about France and all that, and me and Dom again can vouch for France. It's actually quite a fun nation in the game to play. The stupid vehicles, everything. Like when they brought in the EBR at 4-3, that thing was a monster going through the front of Russian tanks, German tanks, British tanks. They're not really as bad as we thought they were when they first came, and the EBR kind of made us fall a bit in love with it.
I mean,
It was a brilliant vehicle. I think the first time we got into it, we really dominated, and it's been up-tiered that many times because people complain.
well, that's more of a gauging thing. Every new vehicle that comes out usually is more powerful. So yeah, so people would get it. Many people will buy the vehicle due to its powerful,
Oh yeah.
nature. But then once that, call it like a season almost. Once that season's over, they will balance the vehicle somewhat properly, and then it would move on to the next vehicle that comes out. For example, but the most recent example would be the PT, the Russian PT. Due to its,
7.3.
right, so
7.3.
at 7.3 it would have laser rangefind, autocannon that can almost pen anything from everywhere that is on VR. But now the season's over and it's getting updated.
Well, you want to talk about overpowered?
That's a good statement to have, yeah. Well, we are nearly an hour into stream, and we've basically just done the guest talks. So, shit talking Ryan, Jackson Kirby.
Oh god. I'll hand this to... I'll hand this to Scott and Dom then.
I mean, I do feel like, you know, the shit talking is absolutely mental. Like, there's many things you can say about the man. Many things you can say about it. In fact, not even calling him a man, I'd call him a boy. An immature boy at that. I think it's just to do with the case of... There was a mutual respect when we first sort of encountered him. He was the sort of guy that had a little bit more to do with War Thunder than us. Or so we thought.
Less of a life, I suppose.
Less of a life, man. Made up girlfriends, you name it. This man's done it all. If bullshit was a hobby, he's definitely mastered that shit. Without 100%. Oh yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he's apparently this, that and that. He's probably half Zimbabwe as well. Just the way he talks. And, you know, if you do hear this, Ryan, just know that every word I say is meant. That's 100% a fact. No if, buts, just absolutes, mate.
Could you expand on the different things he may or may have not done?
Dom, would you like to take the floor here?
I think that is quite bullshit.
I mean, if someone just comes to you and says that, I mean, you'd be very skeptical. You know, it just says it out of nowhere. You might ask for proof or something, but it's a bit of a...
It depends if he can show that proof now, isn't it? Okay, that makes sense, yeah. Well, it seems like this guy's a bit of a silly Billy, I would say.
Ah, cunt. Straight up cunt.
Gone, yeah.
You said it like half an hour earlier. You didn't notice.
But the fun fact is, it won't actually... The fun fact is, it won't actually be thingy for that. If as long as you do not swear in the first 30 seconds of a video these days, you are allowed.
That's
not
YouTube.
Swear word now and then. And we're going on YouTube, mate. Have you not? You know, we're not on Twitch yet. Straight to do Twitch live streams, man. Live podcast.
Well, Minecraft would not be safe on Twitch in our cases.
I mean, we can talk about that. You know, I mean, the fact that we have a lovely Minecraft world, very historical.
I don't even think, because Twitch is a lot stricter. I don't think Twitch was allowed.
Let's just say Minecraft was turned into Mein Kampf.
Mein Kampf with no papers.
Oh no, there was some papers.
Dom, are you skating or something? It sounds like you are. Okay, cool. Well,
Oh god. Is there anything else you want to add to Ryan?
I mean, we can easily do that in other segments where we talk about it, but I do
yeah, we
believe
don't really
that-
want to out the boy because we could also get a fucking law case or something. Fucking.
I mean, it is nice to talk about it though, because like you've got people like him in the world that will make up all these amazing stories of I've done this, I've done that, and I think it is a case of, you know, when you look at it,
Do you really
you've
want
got
to believe it?
Yeah, you don't want to believe what he says, and again, as I said, no disrespect to the lad. I would never go out my way to make him feel worse than he already does, because clearly there's something there.
Certainly does seem he's got a few issues, doesn't he?
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
No, last I
Mm.
heard he had something about dyslexia maybe or something along those.
Yeah, he's the sort of guy that goes to the shops for 12 days.
Ah, right.
Yeah,
right.
no,
That's
literally, he goes, I'll be 20 minutes, I'm going to the shop, I waited 2 hours, just there, like, where the fuck is he? And he comes back, oh yeah, that's me back from the shop. What did he do, buy the whole fucking Asda?
No, it's a co-op round the corner from him.
Fucking hell.
Obviously, his mile-long driveway is quite a long walk, so, you know.
Yeah. His
What,
7-bedroom
mate?
mansion, you know. Well, why would he walk if he's got a Audi TT all for himself? Eh?
Ah, I don't know
Skill
if it
issues.
dials into
Something along the lines.
I really think he is, man. Like,
I think he goes outside and asks for change off people, like, oh mate, do you have a bit of change so I could buy a cup of tea? Because he looks homeless.
did he look so much?
So
Best
he
thing I've
probably
ever
just
fucking-
goes outside of the co-op asking for people for like 50p's and that, just to get like, I don't know, chalky bars, like fucking Red Bull to shove up his ass or something.
I mean, obviously, he goes to shop every day to buy food, so...
He's quite a big lad then, isn't he?
No, like, every day, the only reason he goes out is to get food for that day. So, you know, that's what I've heard.
That's like a skin highlight. Like that, you certainly just, that sounds like your skin on your ass. Oh, I can't buy a full week's of shopping, I can't waste any food, so I'll have to buy what I'll eat today. Are you sure he just doesn't go to McDonald's with a PlayStation?
Probably. I mean, that's if he's not throw him out.
Well, apparently he's got plenty of room. So, yeah. Anyway, this next segment is chatting shit.
The best part about it is the only thing we're really good at these days.
Certainly. Oh, great. Now,
I think we should mute the fucking name every time we say it.
I can't be
Just
asked
for
with that,
legal
so you'll
reasons.
just have to hold it in. It's like that someone's gonna come through.
Yeah, but just for
his name would be useful.
Well,
like not his full name though, man. Come to look him up and go, oh shit, that's that dodgy guy.
Is that just Krabby? His name's Krabby.
Kirby. Or Kirby, we'll just call him Kirby.
Krabby. Vote for
Carl
Krabby.
and Peggy.
Krabby.
We could name that segment the Peggy Tales.
Peggy tail.
Yeah, the pedicate.
Like that one cunt we know.
Yeah, and then you're trying to like slam the name onto me. You can fuck off. I'm not gonna be your next Ryan.
Alright, Ryan.
Well, then why does your missus want to peg you?
I don't know, because she likes emasculating men.
That's
But
why
I'm
she's
the only
with
guy
you.
that can handle her.
Oh, you just wait, son.
You gotta wake up with a big massive rod in your arse.
She's gonna peg you, son, so easily.
Hey, Scott, speaking of pegging, you know Adam got pegged?
Yeah, right, we don't want to start bringing random people that have got no
who's this Adam
education.
kid?
Guy from our college. He was very open about his sex life.
Fair enough.
That smells of a lot of Ryan.
It
Anyway,
does, doesn't it? Reeks of Ryan.
and for those who don't know, that means Ryan.
No, but the only thing about Adam is he actually holds up what he says.
Oh.
Alright.
He's quite a legit
You're a
guy.
trusted source.
So, you know, Scott can vouch for that. So,
Oh yeah, I would vouch for that. He does actually back up what he says.
yeah. But yeah, apparently they might make the BBC a fucking stream service, basically paying for a subscription and that.
Is that what the BBC are apparently basically doing now?
Yeah, but it's been delayed for the next 2 to 7 years.
So it's never going to happen then. When they say that with the BBC, I mean, they said that the BBC Three channel was never coming back to TV, and as soon as they said that, a lot of people stopped watching it, and a lot of people complained.
Yeah,
and now,
I stopped watching it as well. Like Russell Howard Show, Family Guy, American Dad, Pam
Yeah,
Face was
and-
one of them.
but now they've announced that the BBC are going to bring back BBC Three to television.
Yeah, but it's gonna be all shitty comedies and like.
Oh, it'll be
Censored
stuff that's
shit.
to do with fucking. It'll all be censored, man. That's the problem with the world today, man. Everything's just censored.
Too many snowflakes, man.
Nothing. You can't say anything in this world now without someone going, "That's offensive." You can't even fucking change your bed sheets without someone going, "That's offensive." Like, come on, fuck.
That's offensive because it's the color red.
That's offensive because it's a white bed sheet. You know, what? It's a bed sheet. It's not exactly fucking screaming KKK. Not screaming white power. They're not looks like they're wearing bed sheets on their head, but that's made out of a good material. That bed
Jesus.
sheet's made out of something for fucking Asda, man.
Egyptian cotton.
It basically is, mate.
But yeah, like honestly, like
look,
stuff
man.
like that,
I
it
think
does irritate me
we're
these
getting to
days.
this point now.
The economy in itself these days is a bit stupid, though, isn't it? Like, it's
Oh man, like,
inflation's gone up, and blame the Tories. I think blame the Tories.
No, because I feel like Labour Party would not be any better.
Yeah,
Mate.
just blame our politicians. I think.
both of them, but they'll sit there and have the mad wee welcome to Glastonbury parties in Downing Street, and yet they'll complain if we go out and breathe for 1 second. Like, no.
No, they were partying anyway, so who gives a shit, you know?
They can party, we can party, that's the sort of thing. I mean, you can't really blame any one party, Tories, but you can't actually, blame the Tories because Labour is just as bad.
I
you
partied
know,
in lockdown once.
That's a
twice.
matter of opinion. I mean,
And then you get the Green Party, and the Green Party are they're just there for the memes, mate. They're like that one kid in school that is just there because his mum and dad don't love him. That's how you describe the Green Party. As for this, of all these other parties and all that, the Jaffa Cake Party, whatever they want to be called, man, they're just there to make up numbers, man.
Yeah, plus they were all there in the first place, like the sources that exposed them. So why are they chatting shit?
UKIP as well, man. Like, what even is that? It's basically VADL for posh twats.
It wasn't. Yeah.
Right, boys. Unfortunately, I may have to be going now. So it was a great talk with all of you. You know, great conversations, great rant about the XM1. Beautiful vehicle.
Right, and so I think that's the pod, boys.
Yep. Boys, we have been running for an hour and 8 minutes and 30 seconds. Decent run, I'd say.
Yeah, decent run.
We may have had those technical issues, but since it's only a pilot, I'm not going to edit it. That's a lot of work.
Yeah, it was basically a test.
Yeah.
I
just
shall
a test
be
run.
you lot next time. Adios.
See you next time.
Alright, boys, and this is the broadcast. Thank you very much for watching. If you do, have a good night or day, whatever the fuck time you're watching this, and like and subscribe when you get the chance, and don't be a bitch. That's all I've got to say. Especially if your name's Ryan Jess and Kirby. Oh yeah, most definitely. Alright, have a good night. All day, don't give a shit.